Hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel or podcast, depending on where you're listening to. My name is Phoenix GHD, but you can just call me Phoenix. Today, I am going to go into a deep dive on the magic system of the element witches and warlocks. Now, I know I've kind of gone into details and explaining each different types of magic in the previous episodes. However, this one I am going to do like a deep dive of what kind of magic they can use, on how it's used, spells they use, and so forth. So I hope you find this episode entertaining and knowledgeable for the Spirit Dragon World series. So without further ado, we are just gonna hop right into it. So for the magic system, they use multiple different types. And the first one we're actually going to look at is casting spells. So they can cast like curse spells, healing magic, healing spells, barrier spells, offense spells, defense spells, and so forth. There are many different types of spells they can also do if they really wanted to, but this one will take quite a bit of practice in a group. Like a protection spell to a whole realm kind of thing. And then as for curses, some witches and warlocks use curses for punishment for the ones that have done harm or something that they did not approve of. And they tend to use curse spells. As for covens, there are different types of covens. So there are pure male covens, there are pure female covens, and then there's a mixed coven. And each coven is different. Some of them will just be strictly one element, while others are a combo of different types of elements. There are between 5 to as small as 5 people in a coven to as big as a couple hundred. Now a little bit harder was the couple hundred one for a coven, but that's the biggest one. And they are known as priestesses or enchantress or sorceress, but the sorceress is more for the dark arts. The entresses. Oh no, they don't have a priestess in these ones. They have an enchantress. My mistake, sorry. As for school, they do have a school system there to help the witches and warlocks to control their powers. But that's more for like high-end society, like the royal family, or for the rarest of rarest elements, so like dark and light, temperature, life and death, weather, and ice fire and spirit fire. Those and the medium levels. As for the easy ones like fire, water, air, and earth, those elements don't normally go to this school. This school is like a private school, and it's only meant for the medium to hardest or rarest levels or rarest inheritance. Those are the ones that normally go to this school. Do they ride brooms like in Harry Potter? No, they do not. They don't ride any brooms. The element witches don't ride brooms at all. And the reason for that is they have to ask the earth witches or warlocks permission to communicate with the earth to find something to use for the broomstick, which is normally wood. And unfortunately, a lot of the trees say no to that because they don't like the fact that they're just being used for transportation purposes. So they tend to say no a lot. So it got to the point where the other elements didn't want to bug the earth witches and warlocks to ask the earth, to ask the trees to see if they were okay for them to use their branch or their log or their stick or their root even, because they do go as far as using their tree roots to create a broomstick. So they use other means for transportation. So the people with the element air, they use the air element to fly them across. Fire element people, fire element witches and warlocks use the fire portals. Water, they just swim in the water and can hold their breath for infinity and travel that way. Or they make a water portal. Earth is the exact same way. They just create like an earth portal and they travel that way. They don't use any types of brooms at all. Other than that, they walk. Or they use a portal that matches to their element. Fairy tale magic. No, there is no fairy tale magic here. There is other curses that can be cured by, not by true love's first kiss, I can say that. By a act of heroism, or they figure out what caused the curse and now they're trying to figure out how to reverse it. Kind of say, basically they're saving themselves from the curse. They're not looking at someone else to save them from the curse. Because that's the only way the curse will be uplifted, if they manage to break that curse themselves that got put onto them. It's the only way the curses will come off. And is there like other types possibly of any type of fairy tale magic? No fairy tale magic. If you got yourself into a predicament, you're the one that has to get yourself out. You might get some help from other elemental witches, but for normally a price tag. And there's normally strings attached, which is where, oh, if you help me out, then you owe me kind of thing, which makes the most sense, instead of, oh, you're gonna just help me by making a dress with no strings attached. Awesome, I can go have fun. Well, okay, with Cinderella's situation, there kind of was a string attached to it. She had to get home by midnight, kind of thing, before her family found out. But overall, with the one casting the spell and they make an agreement, they can go into like a magic contract kind of thing, where it's like, okay, I'm using my magic to help bail you out of this, but in the future, you have to bail me out if I think you can bail me out kind of thing. And if I contact you, you cannot say no, or else the price is dear where you have to double it. Or the person puts you back in that similar situation kind of thing as payback kind of thing. And then there's familiars. The element witches do use familiars. They do communicate with animals of normally the element they represent. So for the fire elements, it's like a lizard, snake, something that loves the heat. Scorpion even. Not a fan of those, but they're scorpions. Or like the air elements, so like birds, bats kind of thing. Earth could be many things actually with earth. Wolf, deer, lions, giraffes. Water will be the sea creature ones. Those will be those familiars. And the offense and defense magic. Any type of element could be used for offense or defense. It would depend on the element, whether it would be extremely strong or extremely weak. So, for example, the weakest defense ones would be fire, water, holy fire, hellfire, snow, light, darkness, ice fire, spirit fire, temperature, weather, and life and death. Those would be the elements that I would not use for defense, because they're the weakest ones. For offense, all of them could work, but your best ones are air, earth, metal, lightning and thunder, holy fire, hellfire, snow, light, darkness, ice fire, spirit fire, life and death, weather and temperature. Those are the ones you could use for offense in your situation. Anyways, that is it that I have for the magic system for the element witches. I hope that was more clarified. If not, please let me know in the comments or somewhere, and I will be more than happy to answer your questions. And have a good day, evening, or afternoon. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!